What's up, YouTube? I gotta give a huge shout out to this YouTube community. When I woke up this morning, I had some views on this video, a bunch of views on this video of my DR650 electric conversion, a lot of comments across multiple social networks and platforms. And it was just so exciting. It was so exciting that some other people in this community were excited about the build I built. And I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everyone that watched that and shared that video. And I hope you enjoy this one as well. Won't be quite as exciting. I made it today. So I wanted to answer some frequently asked questions about the bike.
Okay, so the first question I commonly get is how fast does this thing go? Right now, it goes 60 miles per hour. That's all it's geared for. In the future, I'm going to be able to increase my motor speed with some field weakening up to around 5,000 RPMs. I'm also going to drop the rear sprocket down some teeth to probably around 35 teeth. This is going to require a custom billet adapter to the cush drive, which I'm going to make in a future video. But you can see this really spreads out my gear ratios and makes everything much more useful. In the last week of riding or so, I find myself in fifth gear all the time, which will become the new third gear, and that'll give me an increased top speed in the fourth and fifth gears, as well as the capability of getting it on the highway for an exit or two between stops. So I hope that helps on the top speed question, and I look forward to seeing what it'll actually achieve when it's geared properly.
So the next question I get often is the range. How far will this bike go? And the short answer is we'll go about 50 to 60 miles of range. This is based on my mile per kilowatt hour that I'm recording right now. Also against another bike, the Zero FX 5.7, which has 5.7 kilowatt hours and a similar designed bike. Um, it has 50 to 60 miles of range as well. So that's what I expect this bike to do. Everything's saying that's about what it's going to do. Another question I get is why did I use a gearbox? So I live in northern Georgia and it's super hilly here. I've done a couple single speed builds before, and one thing I find with single speed builds is I'm always wanting a different gear ratio. In the hilly mountainous areas, I want something shorter, and then on the road where it's flat and open, I want something taller. And I just could never settle on a gear ratio. So I figured with a gearbox, I'd be able to just quickly click into a gear that I want for the situation I'm in and have a lot of fun with it. It also adds like a ton of fun factor to riding the bike. I'm a manual transmission guy in general. I buy only manual transmission cars, vehicles, and it gives me that nostalgia feel with the modern vibe of the electric drive. So overall, it's got a lot of fun factor, and I really like driving manual with an electric motor or a gas motor, box truck, sports car, whatever. As long as it's manual, I like it. Future plans. So this is specifically cosmetically. So a lot of people commented on the looks of the bike. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Either way, I think everyone was right in this case. There's some things that look really good, and there's some things that look really bad. So I do plan on doing a full cosmetic restoration of the bike as well. I wanted to get the mechanical fundamentals set up first, but next will be a resto on the cosmetics. Scrambler style is what I'm going for, so round headlight, cut the tail down a little bit, and then I'm going to make some carbon fiber trim pieces for the side panels and on top of the gas tank. Built a bunch of carbon fiber body stuff before in the past, so looking forward to a new carbon fiber project. And we can do a video about how you make carbon parts, and maybe I'll do a 3D printed mold even. So look forward to that in the future. So what's next for the series on the DR650? I'm planning on doing a few more videos on the DR650. I want to do the next video on the design and build of the bike. So this will go over the CAD design work, CAM programming, CNC setup, fabrication of the parts, that sort of thing. So we'll do that one next, probably. Then I want to do a video on the total cost analysis of what it costs to build a project like this and how much that money gets diverted into the machine itself versus how much of it gets diverted into like tooling that you can use for future projects. So I think that'll be fun. And then I want to do a video on tuning the ASI controller, which is actually really fun once you get to know it a little bit. But in the beginning, it's very daunting, and ASI refuses to open up their support to the public, which is I get their business model, but I've built my entire career building sales and marketing programs for technology companies, and I can't really understand what they're doing. So if you want any advice, ASI, I'm happy to help. So do an ASI tuning video, and then I think I want to do a video on the restoration of the bike itself, but that'll be in the future because that's gonna be a longer process, very detail oriented, painting, powder coating, etc. So that'll be in the future. I want to enjoy the bike for the summer. I'll probably do that in the winter. So yeah, look for that one in the future. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is this channel itself and what we can do on this channel. So you might have heard me allude a little bit to sales and marketing programs. That's what I've done professionally my entire career. I worked in advanced manufacturing, taking products like CAD software or 3D printers or now CT scanning machines and software for CT scanning machines to market. And I want to mix some of that flair into this channel. So I definitely want to build stuff, but I think I also want to cover the businesses that supply the machines and the components that go in these builds. So I'd like to know if you think that's interesting, if you think that would make this channel unique. I'd love to get your thoughts on anything else you'd like to see. I mean, I think it'd be pretty reasonable to interview engineers that design machines and parts that go into these builds. I think it's also feasible to visit some vendors that supply manufacturing machines or the parts that go into the builds. So I think all that's pretty reasonable. I have a relatively broad network in the advanced manufacturing space, and I think we could come up with some places to go visit that might be interesting. So let me know your thoughts on where you'd like to see the channel go, and I'm happy to try to implement as much of that as I possibly can. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.